This is That One Audition with Alyshia Ochse.
I'm excited I don't think I've gone in depth about this on mic or on this show specifically, about the ABC showcase. So can you walk me through an actor from Texas all of a sudden
Yeah,
landing here in LA and even getting to do the ABC showcase, like step by step, even though it's a little different now than
yeah,
compared to
it's
2019?
it's really different now. Yeah, our year was the last year that we did it on a stage, that we did it like a live performance. Now they do it. Now they shoot it like a pilot, which is also very cool. I've seen this new version of it, and it's cool and actually probably better for what it's getting you ready for, right?
Mhm.
Like a stage performance was fun, and you go through a boot camp, but at the end of the day, you're doing a stage performance. So I moved to LA in 2012, and I didn't get showcased till 2019, but I auditioned for it in 2017, and I got to like the last stage, the final 40, and then
Mhm.
I didn't get it. And then 2018, I auditioned for it again, got to the last stage, didn't get it. And then in 2019, I had just lost my job before they started auditioning for the showcase. So
What
now
job? Like
I
just
was
a
working. Yeah, I was a post-production supervisor and manager of the department at a commercial production company called Smuggler. And I have a great relationship with them. They just knew, they're like, dude, you don't want to be here. You're not passionate about this. You're doing just the bare minimum for this job to keep going, but you're not doing anything above and beyond. And they're
Mhm.
like, so we just want to let you know that we're looking for your replacement. We don't know how long it's going to take. It could take a week, it could take 2 months, but we just want to give you a heads up. It did take 2 months, and they were like super generous. They gave me a severance and they gave me insurance for an extra 3 months, which was like super helpful because who does that? But
Nobody anymore.
that kind of gave me like this, between that and getting on unemployment benefits and my wife having just got a job, it gave me like this freedom of, okay, I can focus on acting now. And like this just so happened right around the same time that I'm auditioning for the showcase. And I had a job the last 2 years that I auditioned and I didn't make it. Let me like go all in on this. And turns out if you don't have to work, there's a lot you could do.
You have so much time to do
You have so
the
much
job
time,
that you
yeah.
really like. How did you
So
pair it differently since you did have a lot of time? Because I think it's really interesting when actors become parents. And it's, oh, I don't have a lot of time. They start working more. They have like an hour's worth and they have to do really concise, brief work. Then there's
yeah,
a different thing where your day job is taking up hours and hours of time. Now you had all this space, and since you'd done the auditions for this 2, 3 years in a row, what did you do
yeah.
different for 2019?
I think it's just about like really being present, right? Because when you have other things going on in your life, which most people often always do, you can't avoid it really. But when I was doing it in 2017 and 18, when I was at those auditions, it's like a full day audition. You are there for 6 to 8 hours. And this time I was able to not have to take like a 5 minute break every hour to go check my email and respond and think about my phone's vibrating. Fuck, that's got to be a work email. If I don't get back to it soon, somebody's gonna get upset. So I'd have to tell like my scene partner, "Hey, can you give me a second?" And that's so rude and disrespectful to them because they're trying to do their thing too. And if your scene partner, me being the scene partner in that case, isn't present, it's not just affecting me, but it's affecting them too. And so in 2019, when I did it, my phone was silent. My pocket wasn't vibrating. And it was so nice. And I was able to like just delete a whole part of my brain in those hours so that I can just like really zero in on this audition. And yeah, and that worked out well for me. I got really lucky that all those things, those domino pieces fell at the right moment, and I happened to get the showcase that year, which was
How many
truly an
people?
incredible experience. 16.
Yeah, 16 people.
Yeah.
Because I just heard from one of the casting directors that's in charge of it that the submissions have almost doubled because it's gone to self-tape. So it's like
Yeah.
48,000. But I didn't know. Can you even imagine sitting through? And I don't even know how you watch that many tapes. Do you know the number of where it started from before when it distilled down to?
Yeah, I want to say when we were doing it, there was 12,000 submissions, and then like 5,000 people got called in for the first audition. 2,000 people made it to the callback stage, and then from there it just dwindled down. And then they do this thing called mix and match. And when you're at the mix and match phase, by then there's only 40 people left. So basically from those 2,000, they pick, I think they dwindle it down to 100 and 200 maybe, and then they do 100, and then there's 40 people left that they have to decide from. And when you're at that stage of 40, they do this thing called mix and match, where you are there for 8 hours a day for maybe a full week. And they are just putting you through the ringer. They have printed out like maybe 40 different scenes, 40, 50 different scenes. And you are paired up with, you don't know who you're going to be paired up with today and how many people you're going to be paired up with today. And you might be paired up with person A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and you might be reading scripts M, Z, T, Q. There's like so many different scripts, and you're just switching scene partners and switching scenes constantly.
And do
For
you have the scenes ahead of time, or is it a cold reading
It's a
essentially?
cold read. It's a cold read.
Okay.
You don't get anything yet.
So tell me, as a cold reader, I love cold reading. What are some of your first things that you grab onto that is helping you serve story and create a character and figure out what you're going to do as soon as you get up on stage? Like, what are some of your cold reading tools?
Okay, all right. Let me just correct myself really quickly. You get the scene about 8 minutes before you're up, right? So you have a chance. You have a
Yeah.
chance to like run it, and it might be like a 3-page scene inside. They're not going to stop you. They're going to stop you maybe before the first page ends, right? So you really want to focus on the first half of the scene. So we might like in those 8 minutes, we might run through that scene at full, like maybe once or twice, and then we focus on like the first page and a little bit on the second page. So you're able to like do a quick scene analysis, but you gotta day one, you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Oh my God. But then by day two, you understand this is what you can expect. So you have to be good at it very fast. You got to learn it really quickly. And because it's mostly comedy, people in the room usually are really flexible with light
Yes.
improvising, adding a little bit of yourself to that character while also staying true to the scene. Don't, yeah, I've seen people that will like try to improvise, but then they'll completely derail the scene, and you gotta learn how to bring it right back. You might improvise a joke that doesn't change the the integrity of the scene.
Yeah.
I don't remember your question.
No, that was just it. Just like the cold reading tips, because but it's changed for today's world because we're not really being called into the room anymore. And then all of a sudden they're like, actually, you
Right.
know what? Go outside and take 10 minutes and come back in with this character. If they see a take
Yeah.
that we like, you might get another audition for, and
Right.
you should have 48 hours. So you answered it. I just think very rarely it helps me go into the next one. When you work for Marvel or you go on a show like
Hmm.
this, you're getting usually dummy sides, or you
Right.
might get when we used to go in the room for these Marvel or like high top secret shows,
Mm.
they would also give you the sides when you got there. So there is this skill set that I think is valuable. Or when you work on a comedy, I'm curious about Deli Boys. In the moment, are they changing the script? Are they doing in real time adjustments that you had to then pivot and pick up?
Yeah, they would come up and be like, "Hey, on this next take, can you try it like this, or can you instead of this line, can you say this?" Or they might like on Deli Boys, one thing that they always did is they wanted one clean take as written, one good, usable, clean take as written. And then they'd be like, okay, now you can make adjustments that you want to do, or let's just have fun this one. Have your own jokes or whatever, feel it out, listen and respond or whatever. And I want to say that it was probably like 50-50 what they ended up using. Something
Which,
like
yeah. Okay, so talk to me about half after doing the showcase. How
that.
was it beneficial? Because like where did it you do the showcase on stage, you've got a lot of people in that audience. Does that get you an agent? Does that open a pathway? Is that where you're able to immediately land? Is it Mrs. Marvel?
Yeah, Miss Marvel. I want to say the showcase is not directly responsible for me getting Miss Marvel, but I also will say if I didn't get the showcase, I don't think I would have gotten Miss Marvel because the showcase did help me get representation. I was able to get a agent.
Did
I mean,
Gersh come in from did Gersh come in from the showcase?
no, I was at Buckwald through the showcase.
Got it.
Now I'm with Gersh, but I was with Buckwald before. And this guy, Adrian Hammerski, I love that man. He's now a manager. He's not my manager, but he is a manager. But he emailed me while I was on stage at the
No way.
showcase. Yeah.
What did the
And
email say?
it was just like, hey, Saagar, I'm watching you right now. And I'd love to set up a meeting once you've settled in. And we set that meeting up. I probably went on 10 meetings after. I gave myself a rule: take every meeting after the showcase, feel it out, see what works best for you. And that was the first email I got, and I got it while I was on stage. Now, obviously, my phone wasn't in my pocket, but when I finished my scene, I went to the green room and I saw I had an email from a guy, and he was great. I loved him so much. But I got an agent and I got a manager through the showcase, and I don't think I would have gotten the Miss Marvel audition if I didn't have representation. So through those steps, I believe I got that show, which changed my life.
Yeah, that's what, and also just for the audience to catch them up since they're not staring at your IMDb page, you do
Sure.
you do
Why
the
wouldn't they
show.
be? Why
Why
wouldn't
would
they
it?
be?
They're just staring at it right now. They're like
Yeah.
thumb in. Let's everybody go to his IMDb page now. We'll just rise on that meter.
Yeah, yeah, the star meter.
Yeah. The showcase is in 2019. Miss Marvel, did you shoot in 2021 and it came out in 22, or did you shoot in 22?
We shot it in 2020. We shot it like at the peak of the pandemic.
No way. Where
Yeah,
did it take?
I auditioned for it for one of the roles that I ended up not getting in January of 2020 before COVID. And then COVID happened, everything shut down. And then they started slowly ramping back up. In July, I auditioned for the character that I ended up getting and got the call. I auditioned like July 29th, got the job September 2nd,
That's a
went
long
to,
time.
it is a long time, yeah. Went to Atlanta October 12th, started shooting, I want to say November 10th, something like that.
That was a very delayed from your initial audition in January to not
Yeah,
even get on set and actually, I know we had COVID during that time, but you
yeah, yeah.
auditioned in person first, and
Hmm.
then in July for
On
the
tape.
other, yeah, that was on
Yeah,
tape,
yeah, yeah.
and then on actual set come November. What a trip.
Yeah. I know. It's crazy. And then we were in Atlanta from October to April.
And then it came out not
And then
until it
and then it came
held
out
for a
2
long
years
time.
later. It came out 1 year, a year, and because so we finished shooting it in like I finished shooting my part in April. They were still going for another 2 months, which they went to Thailand to shoot. And then we did reshoots in January of 2022. And then it came out in June or July of 2022, about 6 months later.
Wow.
Yeah.
Again, as an actor, I think it'd be interesting to hear you speak of this. Isn't it interesting how we're like, this is the job. It's going to change everything, or it's going to really set a momentum for me to get other jobs. But then when you're sitting 2 years for it to come out and nobody knows what it is, was
Yeah.
that actually opening doors for you since you had shot that and worked on that? Or did you have to wait for it to come out?
Yeah. I had to wait for it to come out.
Yep.
I had to wait for it to come out. And one cool thing that did happen is because I was a part of that universe already, I got a call while I was on set of Miss Marvel that they want me to be in the movie, The Marvels, as the same character, obviously. And so I thought that was so cool. And then I was going to go to London to shoot my parts for 2 weeks 3 months after we finished shooting Miss Marvel. And then I get a call about 2 weeks before I'm leaving to London that I'm now going to be there for 3 weeks because they want me to be in the beginning and at the end of the film. And then 48 hours before my flight, I get a call from Marvel, and they're like, "Yeah, Kevin wants you to be in the whole movie," and so pack for 3 months, 48 hours before my flight. So I do it. I'm there. I'm in London for the summer of 2021, which is amazing. We shoot the whole movie. And then in the summer of 2022, just after Miss Marvel comes out, I want to say 2 weeks after Miss Marvel comes out, oh, wait, no. Yes, about 2 weeks after Miss Marvel comes out, we do reshoots for 2 weeks in London. And then the movie comes out the day after the strike ends, November of 2023.
So you got to do promotion for it on the day it came out. Did you get to do red carpet and everything for the movie? Nothing.
No, because the premiere was a week before that.
Oh, come on.
So yeah, we didn't do anything, which is okay.
No, but again, I think it just speaks to, I just think our mental health in this game, and when we attach to certain things or when we see certain actors making certain moves, you think that, oh, this is going to be the thing or that's going to be the thing. When I think just really it comes down to the work and you don't know what thing's going to swing which way, what Marvel
Right, yeah.
was. When you auditioned for this, was it dummy sides since we were just
They were dummy sides, yeah.
okay? Will you take me back then to the initial audition where you went into the room or even the taping audition? How do you specifically handle dummy sides? What was your way in for the initial character you went into something totally different than
Yeah.
later? Choose whichever audition, but I think it's really invaluable to hear how people handle dummy sides. People freak out where they're like, should I play the character or the essence of what I'm thinking? Should I play what's on the should I play the conflict here? I don't know. They're always looking to provide what the breakdown wants or what the casting director wants, but sometimes we don't know what dummy sides.
In the case of Miss Marvel, it was a little different for me because I was, even though they were dummy sides, I knew what it was for because I was familiar with the comics. And
Ah,
so I
yeah.
was able to decipher, okay, and the first audition that I got, the one that was in person in January of 2020, I knew which characters those one set of dummy sides were for. It was two scenes and they were two different characters. And I knew based on the temperament of the character in scene one versus the character of scene two, I knew one of them was going to be for the character of Kamran and the other one was going to be for the character of Red Dagger. Even though it didn't say it, even though it didn't even say what show it was, I just knew I knew it was a Marvel show. That's what it said. It said, I don't remember what it was, but I remember the character's name was Dax or something. And I was like, this is weird. I know this is going to be from Miss Marvel based on the very, very little information that they gave because I was familiar with the comics. I knew that what it was for. And then I didn't get that. And it was very clear why I didn't or wouldn't get that. I'm too old for those two characters. But then when I got the audition for my character, I remember, okay, this is what the dummy side said, or this is what the code name was, Jersey. And I knew that was for Miss Marvel. And then in September or in July, late July, when I got this audition, that was also Jersey. And this character was more my speed, more my age. And it was clearly the older brother of the character in the dummy sides, the main character in the dummy sides. So I knew, okay, this is for Aamir. I know how to play this. I don't need to do much research or information. I just need to be good at the dialogue and the sides. And so I hired a coach.
Who do you work with? Who'd you work with?
I work with Put Me on Self Tape,
Yes.
Anna Madrid. Anna
Yep.
is the best. She is, I'm not going to lie, I've hired her for Miss Marvel. I've hired her twice.
Yep.
Okay. Miss
I know.
Marvel, Deli Boys.
Yes. And she knocks
And
it out of the park. She is our queen of script analysis and all things. Yeah. That's what I talk about. We talk about all the time in the Bridge for Actors, our membership
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
the script analysis. And I just think working with a coach, I don't care what level. Sam Rockwell works with a coach. If they don't tell you that they're working with a coach, most likely they are. I
Yeah.
think just playing a game of tennis with somebody, if you hit a ball against the wall by yourself, you always know where the ball's kind of going to go. You get to
Right.
play with somebody else.
Someone talented and experienced.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, it's so important to like work on your scene with someone that knows the work.
Yep. Couldn't agree with you more. And it makes it
Because
fun. Don't you get excited? You get curious of, oh, how do I figure this out? Oh, that gave me a great idea. Oh, I can actually handle the transition this way. Oh, I thought
right,
I was coming across this way. Oh, she's not reading it that way. Let me try
right.
again. Let me try again.
And
Yeah.
also you get to work with other people's choices.
Yes.
You work with somebody, and also when you're working with an acting coach, they're often another actor, and every scene they might make a different choice for the same line. Every time you do a
Absolutely.
take, they might make a different choice, which I think is a good exercise to do. But
So
yeah,
you guys
Anna,
knocked it up. Yeah, you guys work really well together. That's,
she
go ahead.
we did the showcase together, as right, yeah.
Yeah.
And I met her there, and I remember when she was telling us that she coaches. At the time, I was like, how is she going to coach any of us who were on the same playing field? We're all doing the showcase together. I didn't buy that someone that is coming up with me could coach me. And then she proved me so wrong.
Mhm.
I was so ignorant and so dumb to believe that. Yeah, I feel like every time I've worked with Anna, she has just given me so much more to think about and dive into any scene with just so much more of an open mind.
Yeah, I think some of the best coaches, I love coaching when somebody comes to the table with something that they're already curating. They give you permission, one, they play tennis with you, and they ask
Yeah,
really good questions, right? So a coach is not playing the game for you. They're asking you questions about the game so you can play your best version of the game.
yeah,
That's where
yeah.
because I do think that there are maybe not some great coaches out there that are also actors that their ego might get in the way. And then there's beautiful coaches that really understand story, get to see what you're bringing to the table.
Yeah.
The TV and film landscape, it's constantly changing, but traditional actor training has largely remained the same.
It's focused on a theater model whose main goal is to help you stretch the expression of your instrument. That's why you can have years of training,
From scene study classes to audition classes.
to even an MFA, and still not be able to book a two-line co-star.
That's why we created the Bridge for Actors.
A collection of tech, craft, and business online courses to teach you the skills that you need to go from a student of acting
To a working actor.
I was so excited to have you on the show because your Deli Boys audition, to me, just that whole entire arc is one of the best audition stories, I think, for a lot of actors to hear. Will you walk us through that from start
Yeah,
to
totally.
finish? Yes.
Yeah. Basically, I got this script in my email, and it was a different agent at Buckwald. Adrian had already left by then. And he's like, "Hey, I don't know if this is something you'd be into, but check it out." And I read it. I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Of course I would be into this. This is the only thing I am into."
And if
And
I remember correctly, why did he think you wouldn't be into it?
I don't know his logic. I just know that he was sending me a lot of stuff that I was getting upset about because he would send me like 45-year-old father with an accent, immigrant father with an accent. And I'm like, I told him, like, look at me. Do I look like I can play 45-year-old father of two, immigrant 45-year-old father of two with an accent? Do I look like that person? And I would tell him, you got to stop sending me things like this because I'm not going to do them. I don't want to do jobs or audition for jobs that are going to hold my people back in terms of societal growth, because we're so much more than that. This is a poo.
Yes.
And
then
and so
interesting that he read Deli Boys and was like, I don't
I was
know
like,
if
I don't know if this is something you want to do. Check it out. And I was like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you? Anyways, I read it and I was like, yes, this. And he sent that to me in April of 2022. And
This is coming off of Mrs. Marvel, basically.
This is before Miss Marvel came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he was like, yeah, I don't know anything about this project. I just got this. Let me know if you're interested. Like, we can figure it out when they move forward. He wasn't able to. Miss Marvel was coming out in June, and I knew it's not working out with this guy. He's a nice guy, but it's not working out with me. So I left Buckwald just, I want to say 3 days after Miss Marvel came out, because he didn't even call me, congratulate me. And I was like, this just feels like I'm so unimportant to him that like I don't need someone like that on my team, right? So I left Buckwald and I was like, Miss Marvel is out. I'm going to be able to go on more. I'm going to be able to take meetings, right? So I took meetings, and in every meeting I went in, I mentioned Deli Boys. And I ended up signing on with Gersh. And after I signed on with them, I get a call from my brand new agent at the time. She was like, hey, in our meeting, you mentioned Deli Boys. I happen to rep the guy that wrote it. And I was like, no shit. She's like, you want me to set up a meeting with you? And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So I looked up this guy. His name is Abdullah Saeed. I'm like, whoa, this guy has made an entire career off of weed, right? He's like a weed journalist. And he had this show on Vice called Bong Appetit. And he wrote on High Maintenance, and he guest starred in it. And he's Pakistani. And I'm like, this is crazy. He's like me in an alternate universe. And I had my manager, or my agent at the time, who is now my manager, reach out to him and set up this meeting. I showed up. I went to I went to a dispensary, about the most expensive blunt I could find. Showed up at his doorstep, and he's like, yo, what's up, brother? Like, we got to smoke this shit, man. And we smoked and we talked for a couple of hours. And I told him, I got to be in this project. I have to be a part of this project, even if I'm not cast as these two guys. First of all, I was born to play Raj. This is the character I want to play. And he's like, oh man, I actually wrote that character for myself, but I could totally see you as being Mir. And I was like, you know what? I have been both of these people in my life. I can do justice to both of these characters. I just need to be a part of this project at some capacity. And they weren't even doing auditions for it at that point. But he sent me the sides when we were sitting there. He airdropped them to me so that when they do start auditioning, I could be prepared. And so I had time, right? So I'm studying Mir. I'm like, I know this guy. He's like a version of my older brother and myself and my younger brother, and I'm able to put us all together and create this character, Mir. And so they're ready for auditions, and they're doing self-tapes. So I work on it. I study with Anna, and we work on it for a couple of weeks, and then I have her tape it, and I send it in. I do it with my friend first. I send it to Abdullah. He gives me some notes, and then I do it with Anna, like the real version. Yeah. I don't submit the one that I do with my friend. I send it to Abdullah for notes.
And what notes did he give you? I'm so curious, especially since he's playing Raj, which is the opposite character. Like, what notes did you have to integrate after working for a couple weeks?
All right, this is brand new information. You heard it here first.
I love an exclusive.
I've never said this at any of the press interviews or whatever. He sent me his Raj.
Really? His version?
He taped his version of Raj and sent it to me so that I can make my adjustments for Mir.
So you could juxtapose his choices and have the conflict, which immediately gives us the comedy. That is gold.
It
Because
is, right?
you hadn't seen him work in anything. It's not like you had.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
So he sent
yes.
that was kind of my that was me being informed on how I should make my adjustments for Mir. So then I got with Anna. I called her and we started working on it and we did my tape, my adjusted, my like official, the one that I'm going to send in my tape for Mir. I sent it in. I get a call back. I'm like, yes, we're moving. I do my callback and then I do a producer director session.
Is this on Zoom? Is this the
This is
callback?
on, all on Zoom. The callback is on Zoom. The producer director session is on Zoom. And the callback is like just with a few people on the call. The producer director session is with Nisha, is with all the EPs, is with the casting director, like everybody, right? And then I get the screen test. Like I'm testing for it and I do that and more people are on this call and I'm like, I think I'm gonna get it. I think I'm gonna get
Yeah.
it.
And
And I'm testing.
is letting people know that he like knows you now or that he wants you in the hot
No,
seat for this? He's not, you guys aren't alluding to
no, we're
off micing
sidebarring.
this. Yeah.
We're sidebarring because
Great.
he only has the one vote, right?
Yeah.
It's not up to him. He wants me to get it,
Mm-hmm.
but he is also very aware that he has to pick his own, like he has to pick his battles and
This is his first show with Onyx and Hulu. It's not
right,
like
right.
he's had a long-standing reputation where his vote
His
holds the
first
vote.
time, his
He
first
wants
thing.
to do it too.
And on top of that, him and I had only met in person once before that. We really don't know each other. We just spent 2 hours of our whole life together 2 months before this. So he doesn't owe me anything. He just feels like I'm the best fit for the other opposite character. And so we're testing and I'm reading with him. Yeah, I'm reading with him in the test and I feel really good about it. And then 48 hours later, I get a call that they made an offer to somebody and it's not me. They're not going to move forward with me. And I'm so pissed off. I'm not pissed off. I'm just so sad. And I asked, is it Asif Ali? Because I've been hearing about this man doing this to me for the past 5 years where
Winning the roles that you were going in for.
yeah, I auditioned for so many things and I don't move forward and I watch the thing and it's the same guy every
Yeah.
time. And at this point, I'm starting to build up a resentment towards him. I don't even know him. We've never met, but like I'm building a resentment towards him. And I say, is it Asif Ali? And there's 3 seconds of silence and then just yeah, it is. And I'm like, fuck, dude, fuck this guy. And then I'm just like, all right, moving on. That's all I can do. And about 3 hours later, I get a call from my team. They're like, hey, we have some news for you. It's not good news and it's not bad news. It is just news. So I'm like, all right, let's hear it. And they say Abdullah has pulled out, right? He's no longer going to play Raj. And I say that to be nice, but the last time I said that in front of him, he was like, by pulled out, you mean they didn't give me the role? They didn't cast him as Raj.
The guy that wrote and created the show, and I think it's good for actors to hear this.
Yeah.
He ultimately was not the choice that the studio wanted to play.
Yeah. And at first he was hurt by that, but very quickly he understood that maybe he should just focus on the writing and producing. Because now if you talk to him about it, he's like, yeah, I could not have done what Saagar did and have continued to write and produce the show. It is a lot. It is a lot. So I got that call and, that Abdullah is not getting Raj and they like you for Raj, but they want to read you because they've only seen you as Mir. So I did 4 auditions for Mir before not getting it. And then they wanted me to read for Raj. But I was like straight to producer director session because I already had some sort of rapport with everybody on the call at that point, having been on the call with them 2 to 3 times at the time. So I did straight to producer director session and they liked me. They liked my take on it.
Can I ask about your take on it first? Because you've seen his version of Raj. You've been working opposite him, at least in the test. You've even created your character in juxtaposition to some of his choices to create comedy.
Mhm.
What is your take then on Raj? Or what do you take some of the things that you saw him do? Or did you go in complete opposition?
No, I took a lot. I took a lot. And they had to, and I think they, oh man, Abdullah called me right like that night after my team called me and they're like, nah, we don't have good news, we don't have bad news. They want you. He called me like a couple of hours later and he's like, yo, you got to get this fucking job, man. If it's not me, it has to be you. I can only do so much. You got to do it, man. Please, you got to do this job. And so I felt like I needed to do this, not just for me, but also for him, right? And okay, so back to the audition. I was taking a lot of what I saw him do, and I think a lot of people on the call really wanted me to get that job because I felt from Nisha, who directed the pilot, a lot of like she was lengthening my leash. She was like giving me a lot of notes and giving me a lot of opportunity to get there, especially because I had 5 weeks with Mir and 48 hours with Raj. But because I knew Mir so well, I had run that scene so many times and it was the same scene. They were the same sides, just the other character. So I was
Which is
already aware.
sometimes a treat too, because I even tell when I'm
Treat.
coaching, I tell people actually do some script analysis from the other character's point of view first. Helps you see patterns of behavior, helps you takes the pressure off what you're doing. How wonderful that you got 5 weeks to sit in the other side to
Yeah.
understand that how to pitch and hit the ball. You were pitching
Yeah.
and now you got to go and hit.
Yeah.
What a treat. What a
Yeah.
treat.
Yeah. It was great. It was great. So then I was like, Anna, I need you. And she was like, bet I'm here. And we worked on Raj for a little bit. And so Nisha gave me a lot of opportunity to de-Abdullah the Raj because I was doing it a lot in his voice because he wrote it for himself. So I was like really glued to that idea. And they kept on, Nisha Ganatha, the director of the pilot, kept coming back and telling me, like, try to be a little less like Abdullah's version and try to make it your own. Try to just give it a fresh take. So then I did that and I worked on that. And I de-Abdullified the whole character.
How did you do that though? Because I think if there's a tangible way to put that into words, how did you do that? I think actors, they get into script analysis, especially with comedy, you can like really micromanage and get in there with this. But then we really just, especially for a show that you're the lead of, they're going to be writing for you. So what did you start doing to allow yourself to come through and your choices?
First of all, I stopped trying to make Raj a character and I started to try to ground him because every time I saw Abdullah read it, while Abdullah himself is a very grounded person, he is also a character. And he talks like this, and he's got like this very like I'm stoned vibe to him.
Yeah.
And so I took that out of Raj completely. And I just let my version of being stoned or whatever guide that. And I gave Raj my own voice rather than my best version of a character of somebody else's, just to normalize Raj to be more of a grounded human being.
Yeah. It
You
really
know?
worked. It really
Yeah.
worked.
Yeah, thank you. No, it's I think like the reason that was I had to do that extra work for Raj is because I had seen somebody else play him before. Not just anybody else, but the person that created him. So I don't want to say tainted, but it clouded my version initially because I take what Abdullah wrote seriously
Yeah,
and his version
absolutely.
of
You're
it
trying to
seriously.
honor the creator writer and the vision that they might have had in the writing of it
Exactly.
versus the show that was now going to be bought and sold and aired.
That's exactly right.
Where you got the studio involved and there's just a writer really gives us something to work off of. But when you get so many other cooks in the kitchen, even the director included, and actors come in, it shapes itself in a totally different way, especially a brand new show. This is not something that has been done before in this way. That's what I love about Onyx Studios
Exactly. Yeah.
is
Yeah.
they're really trying to, not trying to, they have been nurturing original voices, and a lot of
Hmm.
other studios aren't doing that at all.
Yeah. And I will say Onyx does it with such care.
They do. They
Like
do.
everybody that works there is very clearly an empath. I love that.
It's one of the best studios working environments I've ever had was working with them on such great original content. It was based
Hmm.
on a book, but it was still just the care, who they put at the helm of every episode, how they really curated the message we were trying to deliver. And I feel like
Yeah.
even with Deli Boys, they really, you can see it. So I'm glad to hear that you were feeling that in the production
Yeah.
side of it
Yeah.
because it shows.
They were great. When we were on our rap day, it was the day before rap. On rap day, it was just me and Asif working that day. But the day before that, it was basically all of the rest of the main cast. Tara Duncan came, Anil Kurian came, who they're basically the heads. Tara Duncan is the head of Onyx, right? And they were there on that day and they stayed. People were rapping at 3 p.m. and stayed till 11 p.m. when we wrapped that day. And guest stars and co-stars and series regulars that were rapping that day stayed an extra 8 hours just because they didn't want to leave. Tara Duncan is there sitting on the floor with one of the series regulars and one of the PAs. Everybody just is there together hanging out because it was just such a beautiful moment and set to be on. There was so much love there. It was the best time.
May we get a season two? We're holding for
Maybe we get
season
a
two.
season 2. Yeah.
Maybe as this is airing, season two will have its writer's room going. That's what I would just like,
Yeah, that would be
right?
great. That would be amazing. Yeah. In
Go
in
ahead.
in in Arabic we say inshallah, means God willing. So
Inshallah.
inshallah we get a season 2. Yeah.
Inshallah, we get a season two.
Yeah.
What's your biggest takeaway of being a number one, essentially, number one on the call sheet, leading a show like this? What has changed in your auditions since?
This is a good question. What has changed in my auditions since? I think I'm not gonna lie. I think I give them a little less weight. I think I'm a little like looser. I think I'm a little, what I have understood from auditions is like in the beginning, we work so hard to try to perfect them when everybody's version of perfect is different and perfect is so like subjective that I just don't care about,
Making it perfect.
yeah, about a lot of things, right? Because your version of a bad take might be someone else's version of a good take. Your version of a bad take might be a bold move to somebody else. And like I just did this audition the other day, and there was an action scene
Yeah.
in the tape, and in the notes in the email on the breakdown, it said, "Be creative. Just do what you feel is right, or will add to the tape." And so what I did is I had my wife was reading with me that one, and I was doing the tape, and then there's a scene where I fall. And so I had her take the ring light and the tripod and drop it on its side
Uh-huh.
and try to have me in frame on the floor, passed out, trying to like speak my lines or whatever. And the way it fell down was basically you can only see this part after she did it because she's not looking at the screen. She's just trying to match it with the fall. And you can only see like the bottom half of my face for 25 seconds of the tape. And at first I was like, should I do it again? Because they want to see the eyes, right? That's important. And I was like, you know what? I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna send it. And usually my team will look at my tapes before and they'll try to give me notes. Sometimes they'll be like, this is not good, do it again. Sometimes they'll be like, this is great. And for that one, I didn't care if they were going to say this is not good, do it again. I was just going to tell them, just, I don't care. I'm not going to do it. If you want me to do it again, I'm not going to do it. Sometimes I just be doing that now, man. Sometimes I'm just like, I don't want to do it again. And I'm so tired of auditions. I'm so tired of it. But yeah, they were like, oh, this is great. This is great.
This is so original. This is
Yeah.
I just think too, when you can get to a place of auditioning and freedom, it's those happy accidents that we lean in for. Like when we used to go in the room, it would be when I would mess up that I would actually get the job. I would mess up from the perfectionism.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit this, I'm going to hit this, I'm going to hit this. And even when I'm coaching, it's when the actor loses the line or they do something that I'm like, oh God, what's getting ready to happen? It's so interesting to watch. And then imagine if you're watching 100 tapes. I was talking about this the other day in class, where it says in the breakdown, it's like, she's cold. They get 50 takes, or 50 tapes from people. 48 takes are people being very cold because they're playing the breakdown and they're giving what they think that they want. And there's two people that just have a variation on that. It's really nurturing. All of a sudden,
That's it.
you're watching it and you're like, oh, that's a breath of fresh air. Producers aren't sitting there reading the text alongside, being like, oh, the breakdown said cold. Why are 48 actors giving me cold? But then one person just gives me something else. The one person gives me just the mouth. Wow, that was interesting to really fucking watch. After watching it. I think that's what, when they say work begets work, when you've been working hours after hours, especially as a series regular, how many times you mess up on the day where you're like, oh, hold on, just start it again. Or no, what's the line you want? What's this? That when you're doing the self-tape, there is a looseness and a freedom. And you're like, I'm not going to seek to repeat that. I'm not going to fucking do another take of that. That was great. That works for the story.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that too. And I think like people need to understand that, like, sometimes that is the secret. Mess up, but roll with the punches. Right?
Yes.
Don't break. Roll with the punches.
No.
Make the adjustment that you need to bring it back to
the story or staying in there, but sure, stay in.
And if you forget a line, don't stop the scene. Don't be like, oh, fuck, let me. If you like really fuck up, yeah, sure, start over. But if you forget a line, fill it in with your own version of it. You know where it's going.
Yes.
Or you should. Fill it in with your own version of it. Sometimes those are those magic moments.
Completely magic moments. You've had so many magic moments. I'm so glad I got you on mic because I know you came and shared some of these stories in our community in the Bridge for Actors, but afterwards I was
Which is so fun, by the way.
I love it. I love that we get to have people come in and really they have access to you, right? People in the membership. It's networking on a smaller level from our own home. You sitting on the couch, bestilling upon other actors that are just trying to put one foot in front of the other. That's all we're trying to do here. And
really,
these stories, even from not getting the showcase in 17 and 18 and getting in 19, nobody could have told you in 17, look at the domino effect that's going to happen. Look at you going around almost shopping Deli Boys to agents. That's going to be the show that you get to sit number one in. You never know how it's all going to shape.
You really don't.
And man, just being ready to play ball and actually working with people that want to play ball with you, you will eventually land yourself in some responsibility. And you've landed in some great responsibility. Like I cannot wait to see what you do next. So thank you for sharing.
If I do next, we don't know.
You will. Know. It'll be great to see what it is.
I hope so. That'd be great. I'm not expecting it. I'm just doing the things that I got to do to make sure people see me.
Yeah.
That's all I can do.
Let us know when you book that mouthpiece. We'll call it the mouthpiece audition. The mouthpiece audition.
Yeah. Let's see. The mouthpiece audition. Yeah.
Where can everybody follow along with you? Are you on any social media?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, on TikTok, although I've only made like 3 or 4 TikToks, but I need to do more. Maybe I will. It just feels like starting a new TikTok. It's starting a new social media page. It's so hard. Anyways, it's at Saagar Shaikh Spelled exactly how it sounds. That shouldn't be too hard.
Nope.
Yeah.
And Deli Boys on Hulu. Go check it out.
Watch Deli Boys on Hulu.
Watch it.
By the time this episode comes out, we'll be on set, dude.
I'll just have to, in the intro, it's going to be like, and yeah, we're back in production for season 2.
Yeah.
So it is.
Yeah.
And so it is. So good chatting with you. Thank you.
You too. Thank you so much.